Once you have finished creating your test, you are now ready to deploy the test for your students. In your Learn.uq course site, from the course menu, select Assessment, click on the required assessment folder, click on the Assessments button, then select Test from the drop-down menu. Select your test from the Add an Existing Test list. Note a test can only be deployed once. You need to copy it to deploy it more than once. Click on the Submit button. In the test options, you can enter the quiz name in the name text box. In the content link description text field, provide students some information they should read before beginning the test. Select the Yes button in Make the link available. Leave the No radio button for Add a new announcement for this test. This is because the automatic announcement is not very informative and is recommended you write your own. Leave the multiple attempts checkbox unchecked for students to complete the test in one attempt. Conversely, if the test is formative, for example, you can allow students to complete the test more than once. To do this, check the multiple attempts checkbox. Then select the Allow Unlimited Attempts radio button for students to complete the test as many times as they would like. Or select the Number of Attempts radio button and type in a number in the text field to allow students to complete that test based on the number of attempts entered. For the Score Attempts Using section, there are 5 options and can only be enabled if students are able to attempt the test multiple times. Last graded attempt means the student's latest attempt is recorded. Highest grade means that during multiple attempts, the student's best result is recorded. Lowest grade means the lowest score is recorded. First graded attempt means that the student's first attempt at the test will be recorded, while the average of graded attempts will calculate the total scores of the student and divide it by the number stated in the number of attempts section. However, usually highest grade is selected for most scenarios. Leave the Forced Completion checkbox unchecked. This is a recommended setting because enabling forced completion causes premature submission whenever a student's internet connection is interrupted. If you wish to add a clock to the test, check the Set Timer checkbox, then enter the number of minutes in the Minutes text box. Then select the On Radio button for the setting Auto Submit. In the instance you would select the Off Radio button for the setting Auto Submit is when during a supervised test there is no need to adjust the time if there is an interruption. If you would like to display the test between certain dates, you can change it. In the Display After section, click on the calendar to select the start date and the clock to select the start time. Then repeat the process in the Display Until section. Click on the calendar to select an end date and the clock to select an end time. The reason for setting a display time is that there is a prompt for students when the test will be displayed, so it serves as a reminder to not leave it to the last minute. For the password setting, this is done by checking the password checkbox and typing the password in the text box. The reason for doing this is to prevent cheating, for example, in a lab. Do not select any options from the Restrict Location drop-down menu and leave it on No Restrictions, because this option is not available at UQ. In the Due Date section, click on the calendar to select the due date and the clock to select a due time. The reason you can set the due date for the test is if, for example, a student completes after that date, it will be marked as late. In addition, by checking the Do Not Allow Students to Start the Test if the due date has passed checkbox, students will not be able to start the test, thereby ensuring students complete the test within the allotted time. Ensure you check the Include this test in Grade Center Score Calculations checkbox in order for the marks to appear in a column in Grade Center. In the Show Test Result and Feedback to Students section, there are 6 different options from the When drop-down list, which means when students are able to check their results. After submission means as soon as the student finishes the test, the results are available. One-time view means the students can only view their results once. On specific date means that results will be available to students based on a date and time you have selected. After due date is when in the previous section, and if a due date is selected, students can check results after that date and time. This should not be selected as it does not give staff ample time to check the results before they are released to students. After availability end date means when the test is no longer available to students, they will be able to check their results. The final option, after attempts are graded, means that after all students have completed the test and all attempts are graded, results and feedback are made available to students. If one or more students do not submit an attempt, you must assign a grade so that the entire cohort can view their results. In the score per question section, check the score per question checkbox. Then, in the answers section, check all answers, correct and submitted checkboxes. Then check the feedback and show incorrect questions checkbox. From the test presentation section, select the one at a time radio button. The reason is because it is the easiest option as each question is displayed on one page. It can also stop students viewing the person's screen next to them, as it is unlikely they will be both on the same question. This option also makes it more time-consuming for students to print or copy the questions. Leave the Prohibit Backtracking checkbox unchecked, because during the test, if students use the back button in their browser, they will be thrown out of the test. Check the Randomized Questions checkbox so students will not all receive the questions in the same order. Once complete, click on the Submit button. There are instances where the test's link is grayed out. This could be because the link was not made available and there are no display after date settings in the test options, in which case you need to go back into the test settings and click the Yes Radio button to make the link available. The other instance is that the link was made available, but the display after date is set to display at a later date. To edit the test options, click on the down arrow next to your test and click on Edit the Test Options.